bonus episode to go along with the conversation in podcast episode 48 with Daniel and Katie from RTR Pro Entertainment. By the way, if you're not following them on social media, go follow them now. And if you haven't listened to episode 48, go and do that as soon as you finish here. In this bonus episode, I asked Daniel and Katie to give us some practical advice on what they've done this last year in their small business and what you should be doing if you're wanting to take your small business to the next level this year. Take a listen and maybe take some notes.
Even as this coronavirus transitions out, whenever that is, I mean, I think that's when we're thinking there's going to be a wave of this industry come. That's when we think that the fall could be crazy.
Yes.
Like stupid packed.
Yes.
And, we're excited about that, but it's just like being ready for that because, right now it's a full-time gig. We actually just had our 1 year birthday. So we got our business license on the 8th of March.
Okay.
2019. And, hoping that, like I said, we made our 10 year plan. I'm hoping maybe now don't quote me on this because this isn't like for sure, but, eventually making this our full-time thing because right now,
yes,
it is a full-time business, but we run it. I mean, the amount of work that goes into it is really, you can do it as a part-time thing,
right.
Full-time income, part-time job. And then eventually, the more you get into the marketing side and meetings and, it could easily become a Monday through Friday thing. Also on Saturday because you have your events on Saturdays.
Right.
And stuff like that. So it's just like, trying to grow it and, make it to where, this could eventually be, at least for me, this could be my full-time job.
Yeah. So we just finished recording a conversation just about everything, you and business and all of that. So we're just going to do a little extra 15-20 minutes here to talk about business. I want to talk about business, and for people starting out in business or they have an idea, tell me some of the things that they should be doing, especially in their first year of business, to set them up for success. Maybe things they should be doing, things you did that didn't work. And because I think business can apply to, not everybody's going to be a DJ, but for some people that have business ideas, there are some things they need to know. Talk to me about your first year business.
I would say first, go find anybody that's doing what you want to do.
Okay.
On every platform, subscribe to them on YouTube, find them on Instagram, follow them. If they have a website, check it out, see what kind of content they're producing and what all that looks like. So, what would you say, Katie?
I think, obviously, you have to put some motion to what you're thinking. So you actually have to do what you want to do. And kind of even with our story, that's kind of literally what happened is a website was made and suddenly that was some momentum to get everything started. You put in the work and there were some things that we did. Daniel didn't take a single paycheck the first year we were doing, and that was just the sacrifice.
Right. I'm talking about everything went back into the business.
Yes, it has to.
And it was doable because I had other income.
Right.
But it was hard because we're making a lot of money, and I was like, it's easy to want to take the check and want to make that happen for you personally, but it was just like our drive is so for our business to grow.
Yes.
It was almost like that wasn't even an option for me.
Right.
Because even now it's hard for me to take paychecks because I'm like,
but we could buy this.
I know, I was like, we could buy this speaker, or we could do this, or this DMX.
Use it to invest. So when I had restaurants, that was the thing. We didn't take anything out of it. It all goes right back into build, because who better to invest in than yourself?
Right. For sure.
In your business, your company. If you really believe in what you're doing, you will give up everything to see that work and let it. So sometimes you don't get to draw on it.
Yeah.
And then if you could, it's wise to just go ahead and put it right back into growing and building your business.
Also, I'd say your community is your friend.
Okay.
So wherever you're at, get plugged in.
Yeah. For me, you've gotten plugged in.
Yeah,
for sure in the city of Huntsville.
Yeah. So I joined the chamber. I got to know, all the very active business owners who are at everything and doing all that kind of stuff. They know who I am. They know what I do. They know, our services. But
How do you get involved in the chamber? So you buy a membership for
yeah,
the year?
you would find out wherever their office
where
is.
your chamber of commerce is.
You would buy a membership, and usually
They have meetings.
they do. It depends on how active yours is.
Okay.
So like in Huntsville, I mean, we have
The #1 chamber in the United States.
yes.
Is it
So
really?
2 years or 2018, they got the award for the best chamber in the United States.
in Huntsville.
Yep.
Go Huntsville.
So, and what
That's
that is,
impressive.
like in Huntsville, and I don't know if everywhere's like this, but they have like an ambassador program to where you're an ambassador for the chamber.
Okay.
And they also have like an emissary program that's like a step higher. So, became an ambassador, and our ambassadors have a lunch meeting every month. And I was at that. You know, you're required to go to ribbon cuttings and all these kind of things. So I was just as plugged in as I could be, like
With all the other business owners
Yes.
in your city.
So-
Shaking hands, kissing babies.
Exactly, and I'm such a social person that was right up my alley. I loved it. So, and even through that, you know, because word of mouth is going to be, I mean, that's going to be a strong thing for you, especially if you're trying to grow it in a specific city. You know, we're more of a regional company. We're all over the north part of the state, so. But especially in Huntsville, it's just amazing how many calls because I knew this guy. He recommended you because he knew this guy,
Yes.
and it's just that's really going to be kind of like, I guess, your bread and butter to say.
Yeah, that's a huge way to network with the people in your city is get to know your city. Two, in connecting with other business owners, you get to find out what the need is. So it's not, hey, this is just my service that I can offer. But when you start hearing about a need, then you go, how can what I do meet that need in my city
Yep.
for all these other
Exactly.
businesses?
Absolutely.
And it helps you create more products that way
It does.
by meeting people's needs that they're having.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would even say there's a lot of trial and error. So find out what works for you in marketing. Like for us, I've spent a lot of money in marketing, and not all of it's yielded what we wanted, you know. But now, for us, because you know we are huge in the wedding industry, you know, and we do proms and we do corporate events. But since weddings is the bulk of what we do, we realized, okay, you know, I could spend $600 on a magazine ad that nobody's going to call us from, or I can spend, you know, probably an average of about $700-800 to be in this wedding show, and my average events that I book through a bridal show is probably anywhere from 9 to 14.
Wow.
So
know where to spend your dollars.
Absolutely.
know where to spend your dollars.
Yes.
That is key, because
And even on, like, you know, we do a bunch of proms and things like that. Well, we did mailers to all of these high schools trying to get their proms and didn't get anything back. But literally the way we got everything back was we already had one prom that we did, and that high school reaching out to different. So again, going with networking and who, it's not what you know, it's who you know more than anything.
And it's just like she said, we did mailers and stuff like that. But even like, I feel which proms and stuff like that, that's kind of a different nature because it's more of like the prom sponsor and things like that. But it's just knowing who to connect with to make the decision to hire you and spend the money on you, you know, and then obviously producing at your events. Like,
Do you ever have to discount or run specials to kind of bring business in? Did you ever offer freebies and things to attract attention? Did that work
absolutely.
for you? Okay.
Well, whenever we started out our business, you know, everything that we were doing wasn't any more than $400.
oh, dude, we were lowballing the crap out of ourselves.
You know, because we were trying to build a name for ourselves and actually be competitive in our market.
Because especially in the bigger, like Birmingham, Huntsville, I mean, dude, there's so many companies.
Yeah,
you know, like,
it's very saturated.
you're just one of many, you know?
Yes.
So it's how do you stand out?
So, you know, we had to do these low priced events just to, you know, receive the content from them, to get the pictures, to get the videos, to get the reviews, because reviews will be everything to you.
Okay.
Because everyone looks at them.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
before you hire anyone, especially whenever you're talking about a service, people are going to look at
So make
what
sure
you do.
You got your Google, you know, what you look like on Google under. And I feel like the baseline is the chamber and the BBB because that gives you credibility.
Yes.
You know, they're checking you, they're keeping you accountable. But then those reviews, like she said, because, you know, you can put reviews several different places. You can put it on Google, Yelp.
Yeah.
You can put reviews on the BBB. And all
Which
of
is
them,
the Better Business Bureau
Yeah, the
for
Better
people
Business-
that
yeah.
don't know.
And, you know, that's huge because people get to look on there, and that's that's proof that, you are a good business and
You are professional.
Yeah. And you'll have to ask people for those reviews. You have to give people an opportunity. So if you've got some people that are going to be able to say something about what you're doing, ask them to do that.
Yeah.
Because if they've been pleased with the service that they've gotten from you, whether you've been building them furniture or you did an event for them or you, I don't know, baked a cake, whatever it is that you are doing in business, for everyone listening, just ask people to give a review that you can use and post, because those are so helpful.
They are.
Sure.
And don't be afraid of the $400 jobs. You have to see the value in that and getting your name out. So yeah, it's a low ball, but it's what really got you started. Like, do not despise small beginnings. When you're getting your name out, you're getting tons of practice. I mean, we've been doing this podcast for, I don't know, almost 6 months now. And I feel like we're just now getting to the place where we know what we're doing with our audio and a flow. But if I had stopped at like episode 7 or 8, I'm like, I don't know, we're really struggling with how this is going. I don't like how it's sounding, or with our product, we had to build and get our audio to a place that we like, and it just takes time.
Absolutely.
So don't despise those small beginnings
100%.
because it's giving you tons of practice. It's putting your name out there, and then you'll get to the place where you can be where you are now. And you may even be lowball now. In 3 years, you could go, we were still low then.
No, for sure. And, our prices will continue to go up as we build our inventory and, become more professional and are able to provide services that require us to raise our prices. But, and her dad, actually, Paul Smith, Katie's dad taught us this. If you're in a service where you are doing packages and things like that, this is a little info, people never, and this goes for businesses too, people will look at
Restaurants.
Combos,
fast food.
They'll
joints.
look at who's the most expensive, and they might go there, they might not.
Yep.
Then they'll look at who's the cheapest.
Yep.
And they'll be like, well, why are they the cheapest? And then they'll see who's in the middle, and more than likely, I'd say probably 70-75% of the time they're going to go for that middle.
Well, it's the same concept as, you pull up to the drive-through window and you order, okay, you want the number one combo. Do you want it small, medium, large? What are you going to say?
Yes.
Medium every single time.
Yeah. 3 price points for your products is what I've always learned in business.
Yeah.
You have 3 price points because it allows people to feel like they are controlling.
Exactly.
They have control over their decision that they're making, and they're getting to choose how they want to spend their money. Now, if they choose a middle package instead of a premium package, well, then they already know I can't expect a premium service because I chose this middle. Now, the middle is going to be excellent that I chose because your guys are going to do excellent at whatever you do, but they're not going to expect a premium because they chose that middle package.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the standard's the same no matter what package they get, but it's like you look at, okay, what do I want to averagely be making, And if you can figure out what's your average price you want to make every time, you set that for the middle, and I mean, they're just, every time. And we've learned that from experience. Now we have 4 packages now, but our 2 and 3 are the 2 that book
the most
regularly.
Yep.
And it's just crazy because even when we were lowballing ourselves, I mean, in 2018, which I won't give like current stats, but in 2018, I didn't have a business license. This was a side hustle. I did 11 events. I made exactly $5,050. Okay. Last year was our first year in business. 45 events. Still at the beginning, probably lowballing ourselves. Finished with $555, which is kind of crazy because it's like fives anyway. And then this year we've grown, and we're not done, but at this point we're already 300 times what we did last year.
Yeah.
And we still have the rest of the year to go.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, man, like God's good,
Yeah. Do you ever feel like this might be getting too big for me?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
She does.
Yeah.
But Daniel's...
that's my thing. I get worried, and I feel like I can sometimes sabotage myself in thinking, okay, I don't know how to manage this if it gets any bigger.
Well, see, with the guys that we have, like I said, we have Isaac, we have Grant, we have our buddy Chima's coming on to DJ with us. We have Spencer, who's going to be DJing with us. And that's just the DJs, And then I got guys at MC for us, like Ethan Elms. I got, we're getting George Walker involved in it, and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, we have the personnel. My biggest thing is, do we have the rigs, because actually in October this year, we're doing our first 3 events simultaneously.
Oh.
So,
and that makes me so nervous.
Because, 3 events at the same time on the same day.
Yeah.
And then
3
what's
different
crazy
places.
is we got booked 3 times on that day. The very next weekend, we got booked 3 times again. So it's just like cool, because
It's going.
like
It's happening.
it's growing, and as long as, and this is what we talk about, as long as we can build like an infrastructure that can sustain the growth and the build, like that's the biggest thing. Making sure that ground floor is secure, making sure that you're growing and building that ground floor at a place that this thing can grow on top of. And
So who is speaking into you in business as a coach or a mentor? Do you have somebody that you bounce? Katie's dad probably has a few good ideas from time to time for you. How valuable is that to you?
it's huge.
It's everything.
We had no, like, Paul Smith is the reason we've had success in the structure of what we do.
Okay.
Because he literally,
he is a business owner. He's had so many years of managerial experience, in sales and things like that. And it's like now all of a sudden it comes to an accumulation to a head where like it's just the overflow. Like he just says things, we're eating dinner and he just says things and we look at each other and it's like,
dang, he's right.
That's good.
Why were we doing that?
Our very first bridal show that we ever did, we brought my dad
he
with
came
us.
and did the bridal show with us just because
We had no idea what we were doing, and we trusted him because he had done so many trade shows before.
Okay. So find a business mentor or a coach that would be willing to, help.
and it has a record to prove it too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of,
Not just somebody with some opinion.
for sure.
Somebody that,
Her dad is a successful business owner, has been successful in the car business. So he's been around, The thing is, that's what you've got to realize in this industry. You have single ops a lot, like DJ Papa Rooster.
We love him.
Shout out DJ Papa Rooster. No, he's awesome. He doesn't, that's him. He can be booked every weekend in the year, but it's just what he does. You know what I'm saying? We're a multi-op, we have teams of people that go and do, and you're not going to get the same person every time you see RTR Pro Entertainment. So it's just kind of like what you want to do, because there's not a right and a wrong way.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just what kind of feel do you want to have for this?
Gotcha.
And I think even back to the whole mentor question, I think that the very most important thing to even look at in that aspect is, are you connected to Jesus himself? Because he is the master business owner.
Yes.
And so even for us, we pray like, Lord, give us strategy, give us wisdom. And I think I feel like this has even been a product of it, is we pay our tithes every week. And whenever we pay our tithes, our Pastor Rusty Nelson, he blesses us and says to all of my entrepreneurs and business leaders, give them creative and witty ideas. And that's part of his blessing and promise of paying our tithes.
Yes.
And suddenly now we are reciprocal of that.
Yes.
And we've seen that. We've seen strategy and wisdom and all sorts come from it.
Yes.
Totally.
That's awesome. Well, I am excited to see where this goes. I could see you writing a book one day, Daniel, like on business.
That's weird. I've had somebody speak that
Oh, okay.
over me. Like they were praying and they said, you'd be writing books.
I
forgot about that too. You just said that, honestly.
Yeah, I could see that you're gonna write a book one day.
Dave Ramsey, watch
on
out.
business.